Welcome to an in-depth review of Audi's all-new fully electric E-Tron. I'll start today's review with the exterior, move to the interior, then I will go for a drive. After all that, I'll give the Audi E-Tron a score. Feel free to subscribe to our channel to not miss out on future car reviews, and you can also find us on Instagram. Now, let's discuss the exterior.
You have cars like the Tesla Model X with their gold wing doors and all these fancy features that make it obvious that you're in this cool, new, unique EV. Whereas this looks like your generic family SUV, and it's perfect for a family who wants to blend in with everyone else on the road while also knowing that on the inside they have futuristic technologies and an EV. On the Audi e-tron, the charge port is located in the front left fender. In order to access it, you press a button. The door will automatically lower, giving you access to the charge port. What's fascinating about this charge port is that the Audi is capable of charging at 150 kilowatts, which makes it the second fastest charging EV I've gotten my hands on, second to the Teslas. When you are charging at 150 kilowatts, you can go from 0% to 80% in about 30 minutes. On a slower charger, that time will take you about 15 minutes. When you charge at home, it'll take 13 hours. When you're done charging, it's very easy. You just push the button and the door will automatically raise again. So in order to open the frunk, we have to come down here and grab this handle. Then when you come to the front, you have to grab a switch, lever underneath the hood. Once you pull the lever, the hood does open.
When grabbing the lever, it felt really cheap and easy to break as it is plastic. For a car in this price range, I would have expected this to be an automated device or electronic.
Once the hood is open, there's this little latch. You pull it open, and that's how you get to all your charging ports. You have a little storage, but not much. This storage space is actually very small compared to similar cars such as the Model X and the Ford Mach-E. Unlike some rivals such as the Tesla Model X that has 3 rows of seating, Audi chose to go with 2 rows. However, that leaves ample room in the front for lots of space. In order to get to the armrest, I actually have to really spread out my arms to reach them because I'm used to smaller cars where I'm kind of tight in here, and it actually has so much room I actually really have to spread my arms out, and it feels weird because there's this much room up the front. When I get in the car, the first thing I notice is this shift lever. You have this nice beautiful bar right here, but that's not actually how you shift it. There's a silver piece right here that you use your thumb, and you can push forward for reverse, pull back for drive. You can do a little half press for neutral, and on the side, you can use your thumb to hit P for park.
Now let's discuss the Audi's infotainment center. The car has a really neat dual screen setup, but let's begin with the top screen first. The home screen has many menus to choose from. Some are more interesting than others, such as the vehicle menu. From here, we can click Audi Drive Select to manually adjust the ride settings. Once inside, you can choose pre-selected settings for the suspension ride height and how it reacts. You can also manually raise and lower the suspension as you would like to. When going to vehicle settings, you can turn on hold assist for when you are stopped. Unfortunately, the Audi does not have one pedal capabilities. Another neat feature is integrated toll module. This allows you to use your car as a toll device instead of needing a clunky device strapped to your windshield. The Audi also has toggles which allow you to tell the car's air suspension that you're towing or changing wheels. One thing to mention when going into the radio is that there is no AM stations. The only thing available is FM, USB, and Bluetooth. And as always, you got your navigation. Now let's take a look at the lower screen. The Audi has an interesting and unique way to adjust the climate controls. You can press the plus and minus for minor increment changes in temperature, or you can slide over to adjust the temperature more rapidly. You can use the up and down arrows to adjust fan speed, and the arrows in the middle allow you to change the direction of the airflow. Additionally, the e-tron also has heated seats and cool seats for both passengers. The Audi has a very beautiful full LED dashboard. On the left, you have Audi's version of a tachometer displaying how much power I am using in real time from 0 to 100%. You can also use buttons on the steering wheel to minimize the speedometer and fill the screen with a beautiful integrated map. You can also display date and time, control the radio, and interact with your phone from here. When you're done, you can very easily bring the speedometer back right into view. The Audi has a beautiful center compartment for storage. You can slide a flap open to reveal more storage, as well as 2 folding cup holders. Next to the cup holders is a wireless charging slot for your phone. It even has a nice clip to hold your phone in place during spirited driving. Additionally, if you pop open the armrest, you'll find more storage space there as well.
Moving on to the back, There's a really nice touchscreen right here for the heating and AC controls. You can touch these little figurines to control where the fan's blowing. There's vents in the center and on the sides. The fan speed control is right here, and the temperature control for the quad zone temperature is on each side. Underneath, you have a 12-volt connection on the left and 2 USB 3 ports on the right. Much like the front, there's plenty of room in the back as well. Sitting down, the front seat hasn't moved since John was reviewing the front. There's about 8 to 10 inches of knee room right here. Headroom is plentiful, and side to side, I have an armrest in the middle and on both sides that are very comfortably placed. Moving on to the trunk of the Audi e-tron, there's a ton of storage space back here. It's very deep. There's pockets on both sides, pretty sizable pockets. Under here, you have a spare tire as well as this storage compartment that's probably a good 14 to 18 inches deep under this cover.
When you're in the trunk, you can fold the seats down by pulling a little latch right here. That'll fold that seat down. A latch here, it will fold that seat down. Unfortunately, once they're down, there is no automatic lever that brings them back up. One downside to the Audi is range. It has a 95 kilowatt battery capable of around 222 miles. That is 100 miles less range than the Tesla Model Y, even though the Audi's battery has 20 more kilowatts of power compared to the Tesla. Just went over a speed bump at 25, that was supposed to be 15. I felt like I went over at 5. So as you can see, when I'm in drive, I have 100% power and I have 350 horsepower. But if I put it into sport mode, I unlock this extra boost, which brings me up to 402 horsepower. When I press the minus sign, I activate the regen right here. And if I press it again, I'll get more increments of regen. But as soon as I hit the throttle, it cancels regen and I have to reactivate the minus sign for it to regen once again. Now we're going to test the Audi's 0 to 60.
It is certainly no slouch. For a heavy SUV of this size, it accelerates really well. It handles really well. This car has a 50-50 weight distribution, and overall we're very impressed with how it drives.
What's really cool about this Audi is a 3D surrounding view where you can see everything around you. So as I drive, it actually will make it very easy for me to drive. We will see that there are cars behind me. And now there we go. So now let's start with some of the quirks on this car. As it is an EV, you'd think it'd be really silent. However, let's hop inside so I can show you the noises it does make. Now, it's time to give the Audi e-tron a score. For styling, the Audi doesn't have aggressive looks, but isn't dull either. I give it a 6 out of 10. In terms of comfort, the Audi has lots of arm and leg space, as well as an incredible smooth ride. I give it 8 out of 10. For features, there are many screens, software capabilities, as well as a nice UI. It also has an interesting take on adaptive cruise control. It earns a 7 out of 10. Practicality. I drove this car for 2 hours around town and found the range to be enough, but it lacks compared to competitors. I rate this a 7 out of 10. Handling is good for an SUV of this size. The battery keeps the center of gravity low, allowing it to handle more like a sedan. It earns a 6 out of 10. Performance is more than you expect compared to some SUVs in its class, but it's not crazy. It earns a 6 out of 10. Cool factor. It's a sleek SUV, but you won't see it on a bedroom poster. It earns a 5 out of 10. Quality is high. Fit and finish is great. It earns an 8 out of 10. In terms of value, it is priced slightly high at $70,000 for having no self-driving aids. Meets expectations in most other areas. It earns a 7 out of 10. As for excitement, it is a fun car to drive, but doesn't make my arm hair stick up. I rate it a 6 out of 10. Overall, the e-tron gets a score of 66. Here's how it stands compared to other EVs in its class. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Feel free to comment down below on what car you want to see us review next time. As always, if you enjoyed the content, smack that like button and subscribe to our channel. You can also find us on Instagram at AI Addict Official, or if you personally have a vehicle you want us to review, feel free to send us an email at aiaddictofficial@gmail.com. You can also click one of these 2 videos if you want to see other car reviews we've done, or our full self-driving test with Tesla's FSD beta. Thank you so much for watching.